AITA for secretly paying off my girlfriend's debt? Recently I'm having a big fallout with my girlfriend of 4 years and I don't understand why she's angry. I have this amazing girlfriend we'll call Amy. She's the best girl you'll ever meet. She's kind, understanding, and makes the best omelet in the world. She's very poor though, has always been. She was raised by a single mother and they struggled all her childhood. I come from the opposite type of style. I know I'm very privileged, but me and her have been friends for years after a chance meeting. She has always been a great girlfriend and we don't argue often, but when we do it's about money, not as you would think. She just doesn't like when I spend money on her and I can't understand it. I would gift her nice jewelry and she always seemed to dislike it. Me being love-struck upgraded and I brought her a new car. We got in a big argument that time and she told me she didn't want me to waste money on her. She'd rather me spend that type of money on something important, but she is important and I want to spoil her. I learned that she appreciated things more if they were directly given to her. If I brought myself a necklace and didn't like it, she would accept it, so I started buying her things pretending they were for me and I didn't want them. She would accept and things were going good. I want to propose soon, but she wants to pay off her debts first so we have a clean slate to start on. I've known this since the beginning. She works hard to pay them. She doesn't pay rent or any utilities in my house. I don't let her even if she tries. Last week with the help of her mother I paid off her student loans. I thought it would be a nice gift to her considering it was her birthday, but once everyone left she blew up on me like never before. I've never seen her so angry. She told me I crossed a line, that she was working hard to pay it off and I ruined that and I was a jerk for involving her mom in my schemes. What she really said that stuck with me was, "You can't understand why I'm angry because you've never had to struggle and you've never felt the pride of finally doing something yourself." And even then I didn't understand. She ended up leaving and she's at her mom's house. I can't understand why I'm losing her. I pay the debt, but I don't want to lose her. I just want her to live in comfort and I want to marry her. Now that a few days have passed I'm getting anxious and I'm starting to feel like a real jerk for invading her privacy. Our whole house is decorated to her taste and it smells like her, but she's not here. Each time I realize that I feel more and more stupid. I've never felt like such a jerk before, even if I don't think I did anything wrong. So am I the a-hole for paying off my girlfriend's debt without consulting her?
Relevant comments. Commenter: I honestly don't think you understood at all where she is coming from. If she was struggling to the point it was hurting her, debts mounting with ever-increasing interest, skipping meals to pay bills for instance, and didn't want help, then yes, therapy would be a valid suggestion. In this case you completely misunderstood her objective and boundaries and you are wrong. If she was in a marathon and you intercepted her race, bundled her in a car and drove her to the finish line because you could help and didn't want her struggling, then you understand that would be wrong, right? This was her marathon. She was in debt on her mission for self-improvement and trained and worked hard in self-discipline to get herself out of it. The journey of getting there is meaningful and probably to her represented making a success of her life. You overrode that with a gesture important to you as you want to get married now. That ignored and dismissed every bit of the achievement she was building because you couldn't wait and likely have damaged the trust in your relationship to the point I would be asking myself if I even wanted to marry you, as you put your interests above mine at all steps. She doesn't want nice things bought for her, but it makes you feel good to do it, so you ignored her discomfort to find a way to keep buying them. She wanted to wait until she feels she has made it before marriage, so you tried a shortcut to get there. You need to reevaluate how you listen and understand her or you will lose her.
OP, in the race situation I wouldn't, because I know she wants to finish it. I never knew the debt was so important to her. She mostly described it as the last thing between us getting married, but we broke up anyway, so I guess I've got what I deserved.
Commenter 2. If you think breaking up was a mistake, why haven't you told her that? Why is marriage so important to you? People get married for a variety of reasons, but ask yourself if you'd still be happy with your girlfriend without the legal contract, or if you would be happier with someone who does want to get married. It's okay if that's a deal breaker.
OP, that late might be unclear. I broke up with her because we don't have the same life goals. She believes that this wouldn't have come up if I hadn't made the mistake of paying her student loans. I don't have a great reason for it, I just feel like it's what's supposed to happen. I've always wanted to get married, have my fairy tale ceremony with the woman I love. It's something I have to have as for the reason I just want it. I suppose I would be happy with her just being my girlfriend, but I'd be giving up my dream of being someone's wife. That would likely turn into resentment at some point. Update. I did originally try posting it in the same thread, but the word limit made me leave a lot out, and honestly I didn't really understand all the rules, so I'm just posting it here, unsure if anyone will see it. Hey Reddit, read your post responses and wanted to clear up some things before the update.
I'm a woman. I saw a lot of people refer to me as a he, but me and my girlfriend are both women. I refer to it as my house because it is. Not because I hold it over her head. It was a gift from my parents, so I only pay the property tax, utilities, and if there's any needed upkeep. It's not a huge mega mansion either, it's a simple 5-bed house in a nice neighborhood. To me it makes no sense to take money from her for something that I can cover without her. A lot of people called me manipulative for gifting her things in a shady way to avoid her saying no. I have to admit I never saw it that way. I'm used to expressing my love with material items, so honestly I get a bit sad when she won't accept them. You essentially just brought your girlfriend. When I read this I almost immediately replied to deny it because I wouldn't do something like that, but I took a step back to think. I of course don't see it like that. She's my girlfriend and I wanted to help her, but I can see why it seems like that. A lot of people also said I didn't respect her for doing this and that I did it for myself. I love and respect my girlfriend more than anything. She's the love of my life. She's literally perfection and she deserves to be loved like it. I've never disrespected her intentionally and she's the most important person in my life, even more than myself. Saw a couple comments saying I should leave her if she's unappreciative or that I should start charging her, but I feel like that goes back into the I brought her argument. If I suddenly decide to start charging her because I feel she is ungrateful, I don't feel this way just making a point. It makes it seem like I did this to own her. I can't even deny that even though I did those things for her, it made me happy inside. The first time I gifted her anything she lit up so quickly, and it was the moment I knew I wanted to marry her. I like seeing her in nice things that she can call her own. Your responses have made me realize I did it because I like seeing her like that, rather or not she wants it or not. Someone said wealthy people love giving gifts. That couldn't be more true. Usually it's a power play to show you're better than someone, but for me I just want to see her happy. Also, I did not know the debt being paid off by herself was a major goal of hers. She never mentioned it to me, just said she didn't want to bring baggage to our marriage. A few people said we weren't compatible or that she was just looking for an excuse not to marry me. I would be sad if she didn't want to marry me, but I'd accept it. I truly love her more than anything, and I know she's a soft-hearted person, so I admit I started wondering if this was the case and if she just didn't have the heart to tell me. A lot of people asked if she left me right now, right after I paid it off, would I want her to pay me back? The answer is no. I've never expected her to pay me back for anything, even if we split up. I've never been overly emotional, so not even in anger would I tell her she had to pay me back. Would I beg her not to leave me? Absolutely. I don't financially abuse her. I saw this a bit, or not in the way Google describes it. At least she has a job, and of course living in my home is above her means, but if she were to move to a smaller town she'd be okay on her own. Basically, if she did leave me she wouldn't be screwed, so I don't think she's financial dependent on me. I don't just throw money around either. It's not like I get a hole in the wall and suddenly I'll buy a brand new house. I just have a friend come fix it. Don't even hire a company. I won't pretend I'm super frugal though. When my girlfriend moved in, she showed me a lot of ways I wasted money, leaving the lights on, having more food than we could eat, small things like that, up into always getting the newest phone model even though my old one is fine, or just buying something I like even if I have no use for it, like cars. When she moved in she helped me settle these habits that I never even thought about. A few people tried their chances in my messages. Not happening. I love my girlfriend. I accept that I love her more than she loves me. I'm fine with that, I suppose. I'm also not a complete lovesick fool. It's not like if we break up I'll still support her and spoil her. I'd respect her wishes. For the people saying I should date in my social circle, I'm not against that. All my exes have been from the same life as me. Like I said, me and her met and as chance encounter and hit it off. It's not like I go seeking out poor vulnerable people to bring home with me, but I don't think just because she's not wealthy I shouldn't be able to date her. I was essentially raised by my nanny, a normal person in terms of cash, so I've never looked down on people with less. They're just people, and if I like someone I should be able to like them no matter where they're from. I involved her mother because parents have access to it. I didn't involve her mother for her to convince Amy to accept it. I'm sure you can guess I went to college scot-free, so I don't know the process of paying off a loan. I work. My parents would never just let me do nothing with my life. Granted, I'm spoiled. I'm the youngest and the only daughter, and though they weren't around often when they were, they would give me their attention. On to the update. It definitely wasn't what I expected. She came back the day after I made my post so we could sit down and talk. I took your suggestions and wrote her a letter explaining my thoughts and why I thought she'd appreciate the debt being paid off. She read it, but she kinda seemed to skim it, which was my first sign I completely lost her. I read every last comment, and at this moment it felt like everyone was whispering "told you so" in my ear. She set some strong ground rules. She wanted me to get therapy because she believes my need to give her things is because how I was raised. My parents weren't bad by any means, but they worked hard, so to show love they gave me a lot of gifts when they couldn't be there, but they never missed birthdays or holidays. She also wants absolutely no gift giving. I asked her about her birthday and holidays and she said that after something like this she wouldn't accept anything. She said that me spending that much money on her was ridiculous and the fact that I just could was also ridiculous. At this point I asked her if she understood that when we get married my assets would become hers. She wouldn't just be marrying a wealthy woman, she'd become one herself too. I asked her if she was uncomfortable knowing that, but she didn't really answer. She just kinda brushed past it and said it wouldn't be like that because we'd still have separate finances. So I asked her something that probably wasn't very smart because I saw a lot of comments about her hyper-independence. I asked her if she enjoyed struggling and then accomplishing her goals, if that somehow made paying off a debt more fun or something. She answered honestly and said she struggled all her life and it's part of the process, that she watched her mom struggle and yet she still managed to raise her into a strong woman and they were never on the streets. I suggested that she should look into therapy too because it sounds like she's trapped in the mentality where if she doesn't struggle she didn't do enough. She refused and said she was fine and I just wouldn't understand, perhaps because I got voted the a-hole. I didn't argue, I just figured it was another thing I didn't understand, so that was the end of that. She made a few more demands that aren't really important, but then she said that she didn't even want to think about marriage for a few more years. We've been together for 4 years and lived together for 2 of them. I'm 25 and she's 27. Yes, it's still pretty young, but I've always saw myself getting married by 30 at the latest. This sparked a deep conversation and I asked her if she wanted to marry me at all because it didn't feel like she did. It took a while, but she admitted some private things I won't say here, but ultimately she doesn't want to get married because she says that's more or less the start of all problems, that she doesn't want to be contract bound to anyone. I was hurt by this and blindsided, honestly, because marriage has always been my goal and she knew this. When I made that point she said paying off her debt had been her goal and I ruined that, so I should accept it as a way to make things even between us again. I tried explaining I didn't know it was that important to her, yet she knew how much I cared about marriage, but nothing I said seemed to be right. She just kept combating everything I said. By the end of the conversation I didn't feel better like I thought I would. The next day I had my lawyer draft up a contract that just basically says I don't want anything in exchange for paying her debt and I won't try and force her to pay me back. I gave it to her and told her that we should end things because we didn't have the same goal in life, and she kinda blew up on me. I've said it before, but she's the sweetest girl you'll ever meet, so I was definitely surprised by this. Dumping her just because she wouldn't marry me, especially after I made a mistake, wasn't right and I was being selfish. She still loved me and we didn't need a wedding to prove that. I simply told her I disagree and left. I'm at my parents' house right now. I just kinda sat with my mom for a while. I didn't cry, but she knew something was up. She let me just sit there in her presence in pure silence and it felt pretty good. So yeah, not exactly what I expected to come from this conversation, especially not in just 3 days since my post, but here we are.